Hey everyone! So I was playing my favorite Minecraft server and I noticed these great animations. And I was bored as usual and I thought I could make something like that. But of course I'm not gonna just recreate it, I'll make something new, something original. Yeah, alright, it might not be original, but it is satisfying.
One enemy remaining.
And I'm gonna make my own little spin on this effect. Now this effect consists of two components, the visual and the sound. I'm going to start with the sound because I'll have to sync the animation to it anyway. So for the sound I want something arcadey. Kind of like MCCs. But you know, I'm a dumb little silly guy, I have no idea how to make these sound effects. But I mean, how hard can it be? To start off, I knew I needed to get my grubby hands on a tool to make these things. Anyhow, after I borrowed my friend's FL Studio, I started to get working. After a little bit of experimenting, I had something going. I like to call myself a little bit of an artist, you see. So my artistic genius told me that for each kill feedback I should have as many notes as the kills for that feedback. But that's not enough, I have to spice it up even more. I made chords out of the notes and every falling one gains one more note. I can't leave out the Ace jingle, so I made huge changes to the Valorant Ace melody. Anyways, let's make them chords and we're pretty much done. But something's missing. That's better. My god, the Ace with the strings. I did not plan for this to be this good. Anyhow, it's time to make the animation part. So first I made the base in Ace Sprite. It's a skull, just like from the original. But a monster's claw laid its mark on it, and the amount of slices would indicate the amount of kills. And I started animating, and it was not easy. I mean, seriously, look at these attempts. I started actually learning real animation. It was crazy. After some time, I made something that came pretty close to what I wanted. So I jumped back into it with my newfound knowledge, and I'm pretty happy with the result. Once I got the first one done, everything else went pretty smoothly. As you can see, each scar appears along with a note, but this will be more apparent when I show you the result. Alrighty, everything is pretty much done and only the last step is left. Putting all of this in Minecraft. That's the easy part, right? Right? Well, as usual, we added the action bar to put our animation there. We can add new characters with a resource pack that has a custom texture. The first thought that comes to mind is to split our animation into its frames, and for each frame make a new character, and then show each character in succession to the player. Now this would work, but it is by far not the best solution. The first reason is frame rate. By default, the Minecraft server runs on 20 ticks per second. This means our animation could only run on 20 FPS. The second reason is latency. This solution would basically send each frame to the client when it happens. In a perfect world where everyone has immaculate internet speed and quality, this wouldn't be a problem, but this isn't the case. My solution is slightly more complicated, but it's very fun. So instead of making as many characters as there is many frames, we just put all the frames in one texture and make that a character. This would look something like this. And you might think, wow, awesome, this is great. You know what? This is what I'm subscribing for right now. Now the server can just send this single character to us and we say, okay, that's good, that solved the latency problem. But that still doesn't make it move. Like, come on, it's just... We're gonna still have to make this move somehow. And this is a perfect reason to use shaders right now. If you don't know what shaders are, they basically dictate how the game gets rendered. Everything in the game has a shader, like blocks, transparent blocks, entities, and I could keep going for a long time, but what we want to edit is the text shader. So instead of showing this thing, we show a frame that's inside it. And another one, and another one, and another one. You get the point, it makes up an animation. That's the idea, at least. Previously, I've lied to you. This isn't how the texture actually looks like. It looks more like this. If you just have a glance at it, you can realize that this doesn't really follow alignment, organization, or anything really. Instead, I store the frame information in the first row of our texture. I'm not going to bore you with the details, but from this first row, we can decode any frame's position. And if we know the position, we can display just that section of the texture. That's it! I can select which frame to display. But so far, I've been doing this manually, typing in the frame number and refreshing the resource pack. Another great thing about shaders is that they can query the current game time. And if we know at what game time the animation started, then we can calculate which frame should be displayed at the current time. But the problem is, we don't know when the animation started. Well, we do know, but not inside the shader. That's because the text shader only has access to some information, usually just the stuff it needs to render the text. Most of these things we can't change, and we can't add new ones, but luckily there is a workaround. For example, we can change the text color without any hassle. Since we don't need to use the color for tinting the animation, we can repurpose it to send other data to the shader. Using color to send data might sound confusing, but think of it like this. A color is just data, like zeros and ones, and what we want to send, the starting time, is also just data. As long as what we want to send fits within the original size, we can interpret it however we want to in the shader. So first, we get the current game time, convert it to a color, give that color to the text. Now in the shader, I take the color, convert it back to the start time of the animation, and with that and the current game time, we calculate the correct frame to display. Yeah! After all that, the shader is done. I now have to make this texture for the other animations, and then when we eliminate someone, display the action bar correctly and play the correct sound. And here is the end result! If you liked the video, subscribe to the like button and see ya!